All right, here we are, Impacting Influence Radio right here on Opera, and today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now today, we've got a very special lady in here. Melanie Nooney introduced Tamika Miller. How you doing, my dear?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. Now, do you know Blinds of Sacramento? Do you know Jessica?
I do not, but I would like to get to know Jessica.
She is... It's so funny. So I put Blinds of Sacramento, but she's the boss lady.
Well, I saw you write that, and I said, okay, boss. Me, him, who's the boss? Jessica. Got it.
Yeah. No, it's funny. In order for me to make sure in my brain, it's kind of like the mechanics of playing baseball. You get up and you do your thing same way. You kick the dirt every single time. This is just how I do it. And then at the end, I'll draw my little line. Oops, I just made a little line. And the little line tells me something else in my head, you know.
I love it.
So it's just the mechanics of how I do the show. Yeah. But no, Jessica's amazing. Jessica is, I've known this woman for, 6-7 years.
Okay.
And I think that you two would really, really mesh well. Same kind of temperament, which is perfect in business.
I look forward to the introduction, yes.
One of these days.
Okay, sounds good.
She doesn't come to the events. She's just too damn busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's
doing, so she's window coverings, but she's doing like all the high rises downtown. She did like I don't even want to say, but it was like 20,000 windows or some stupid. I don't even know. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's like a 2-year project or something. Yeah, it's crazy. She's killing it. All right, so we're going to be learning about Tamika Miller. Your company is Cuticles Spa Consulting, and before we really dig into that, who is Tamika Miller?
Who is Tamika Miller? That's a wonderful question. So I am Tamika Miller. I am a Oakland native. I relocated to Sacramento about 8 years ago. My husband was here. It made sense for us to relocate here. Been an entrepreneur for the last 25 years of my life.
Boom. How has it been?
It's been good. It's been, highs, lows, the ebbs, the flows. It's funny. I never really considered myself an entrepreneur until probably when COVID hit, when things got serious. And I knew, this is what entrepreneurship looks like. Definitely, I had my highs and lows prior to that. But that's when I really knew what entrepreneurship meant.
I remember when I launched my first business, I was 18 or 19. I failed it a year later. And I remember everyone was like, so you're going to go get a job? And I was like, yeah, I'll never run another business. And it was like literally a year later, I was getting ready and starting to work on my next thing, which was the motorcycle business, which led into the Ferrari business. And then the recession killed that. And so I went from 19 years old, 20 years old, failing, into the recession, failing, and then COVID. We made it through COVID. And then today, and so I say 30 years, but actual business, like actually running with a business license and the whole bit, would be 2001. What year are we in? So we're 25 years.
Wow. So we're about the same.
Yeah. We're the same age.
You think?
If you've been doing it that long.
Yeah, so if I've been doing this for 25 years, I started when I was 10. How old are you?
Okay, so I started the music part at 14, and so that's when I say I've been doing it 30 years is when I started writing and producing music, but you don't get a business license at 14 years old and cut cassettes.
Yes,
but
for sure.
I'll be 44 this year.
Okay, I definitely have you by a few years, but Thank you for thinking that I was your age.
Well, no. What I was questioning was how the hell do you look like you're 25 and you've been at this 25 years?
The next interview, we'll talk about it.
Seriously, though, because I'm going, okay, this doesn't add up, okay? All right, so now you're Oakland native. When did you move up here?
I relocated to Sacramento about 8 years ago.
Okay, and for your husband?
Yes.
And so were you running your business down there?
Yes.
So you went to school down there?
Yes.
Interesting. Because I grew up in Hayward.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we had talked
East
about
Bay,
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm an Oakland native, Oakland girl.
Interesting. We've talked a little bit about Oakland with some of the other radio episodes. But what have you seen over the last 15, 20, 25 years in Oakland? The news says that it's on a decline. Of course, we've seen all the baseball teams leaving everything. But it can't all be bad. There's got to be something happening, something innovative happening in Oakland. Have you seen something, a shift, a change?
Yeah, Oakland, it's home. It's always home for me. It's funny when I travel to Oakland now, I say the Bay, which is funny hearing myself say that now that I live in Sacramento. It's kind of like a telltale sign when you just say the whole area is the Bay. Oakland is not necessarily the Bay, but yes, when I travel down to the Bay, for me, there's just this electric feeling just when I touch down on the soil. I don't know if it's just because I'm home, but there's great energy there. I have seen a great increase in entrepreneurship, lots of small businesses. There's lots of wonderful energy there.
Do you think it's because of the sports teams and the jobs that were lost with the teams leaving that it's more of pushed people to more fend for themselves and become an entrepreneur and
I don't know.
Find a space for themselves?
I don't know if that's it. If my first thought would have to be, you're right there in between Sacramento and then, Silicon Valley, the other direction. So it's just a great middle area. It's a little bit more affordable when you compare it to San Francisco or Silicon Valley. And it's just a great gym.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm in my own little bubble up here in El Dorado Hills in this, whatever the heck this little oasis of a spot is right here. It's funny. It's, El Dorado County has different, we can water our lawns up here. And as soon as you get to the hill and start to go down, you can't water your lawn anymore because it's all Sacramento County.
Yes.
And so it's the Sacramento's, El Dorado Hills is almost like this little Palm Springs kind of thing of the region here. It's a very weird thing.
Okay.
So what is it that you're doing? Cuticles Spa Consulting. What is this?
Yeah, that's a good question. What is Cuticles Spa Consulting? So I'm a licensed nail tech. And my brick and mortar business in Oakland was a nail spa where we offered nail care services, waxing, massage, and esthetician services. So when I began to make the pivot and just knew that it was time for me to do something different after COVID, the brick and mortar business, it just wasn't the best model for me anymore. And so I wanted to make a change. And I thought, okay, the easy thing for me to do is to share my knowledge and my experience with others that are looking to get in the industry. Well, that wasn't necessarily what happened. I ended up, it really just was like a miracle from heaven. I ended up being recruited by podiatrists to say, hey, I want to incorporate pedicure systems into my practice. And I said, I can do that. I can help you do that. And so that's what I've been doing, is helping podiatrists incorporate different wellness services, particularly waterless pedicures or zero gravity pedicures. They already have the clientele. They already have the patients that are looking for these services. And for them, they no longer have to navigate insurance, or when they're dealing with their customers in the salon, they can easily it's a cash business for them.
This is definitely something. Have you talked to Blossom about this?
We talked briefly at an event, but we have not talked in depth.
You need to. No, seriously, you need to. This is right up her alley, and she's working. The lady that was here before, they're talking about possibly putting a hair and makeup studio inside her space as well.
Oh wow!
So this is a conversation you guys really need to have.
We should.
Yeah, seriously. Why are you so passionate about this space?
I am passionate just because I learned over the years, it was beyond the nails. It was beyond the polish. It was beyond me filing nails. I literally had relationships with customers that were closer than some family relationships. It's more than a service. You are literally giving people a little piece out there throughout their day, a little slice of heaven, bringing people in. And when they leave, they feel more confident. They feel rested. And so that's why I love it. And there's also a dark side to this industry where, you have technicians, nail techs that are not being compensated properly, where patrons are going into salons and literally putting their health at risk because of practices that are happening. I know. So it's twofold. I'm concerned about consumers and professionals.
With, I'm trying to be as politically correct here as possible, but you see people brought over here from other countries and they're not paid. They're promised a life, but they're coming from horrible conditions over there, so over here is better. And so they're okay taking less pay, but then that money's just going into the pockets of the people running the salons.
For
You've
sure.
seen it. I mean, you see it on the news. You see it all the time.
Absolutely.
And what change are you trying to make? I mean, I get where you're at, but where do you come in to say, okay, well, I know I'm not going to put these other businesses out of business, but maybe I could lead by example.
When you say put these other businesses out of business,
Well,
what do you mean?
the ones that are predatory.
Okay.
You're coming in with different practices, with different ideas, with different concepts, and you're saying, look, we can lead by example by creating something. You don't have to go to this or go to that or experience this or experience that. We've got these different tools and these different options and features. We can essentially, you can put these into different types of different types of spas. It's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think it's twofold, right? So I think consumers need to be educated more. They need to have the education to know that this is not what healthy nail care should look like.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I think consumers need education. I think technicians also need to be empowered and understand as an employee what they are entitled to. And even taking it a step further, I think establishment owners are not always clear on how they should manage employees. A lot of times people don't know about the ABC employee test.
Do you think that they're running these salons like this just because this has been the norm for so long and they don't know any better?
I wouldn't say absolutely they don't know any better, but I think it's been acceptable. So
Acceptable, yeah. And so you're coming in saying, we can do waterless. We can. Is the product better? Is it more of an organic product?
So the thought behind waterless is that podiatrists believe the way bacteria is spread is through the tubs. And so if you eliminate the water, there's no bacteria swimming around. You eliminate the water, you don't have the jets, which people look for when you have a waterless system. They want the spa, they want the jets. And that's where bacteria lives and stays. So you remove the water, you don't have that. It's also safer when you're dealing with patients or customers that have diabetes. So waterless is the way of podiatrists. There are ways to do pedicures with water and keep them safe, but my focus now is waterless with podiatrists.
This is really something. Have you thought about maybe taking this mobile?
So very, very good question. I'm glad you asked that. The thing about mobile is in the state of California, mobile literally means a mobile unit, as in vehicle. Mobile does not mean travel. A lot of people think, oh, I can be a mobile nail tech. That's totally different. There's a different license that you need for that, which is PSP, Personal Service Provider License, and then you're limited within the scope of work that you can offer. So it's not something that I would take mobile just because you're limited in what you can offer. And that literally means, like I said before, it's a vehicle, meaning mobile, not traveling to individual homes or spaces.
Very interesting. So maybe this could be something that would incorporate into caregiving.
It could. Absolutely.
Very interesting. Okay, well now I want you to talk to Portia. Wow. Okay. Sorry for the tough questions.
No tough questions at all.
No, this is why I do this. I love this. I didn't even know this existed. This is super cool. Okay, so I'm getting all excited now. So where did this come about with you? Did you just one day you went into a salon and you were like, oh, we're doing this. And you're like, oh, wow, I want to be involved?
What do you mean? How did I become a manicurist or the waterless pedicure?
The waterless pedicure and then the consulting element.
Yeah.
Because it says you're trying to partner with podiatrists. Where did all of this come about?
Yeah, good question. So after I closed my brick and mortar, I thought, okay, I can just tell people how to run a business. And I had a website, new business model. And on my website, I offer secondary nail care treatment, which is basically education and skill set that you don't learn while you're in cosmetology school. Cosmetology school is designed for you to pass state board, not to have a skill set that you can make a living off of. So that's that. So I'm going to offer secondary nail care treatment. I can do these things in my sleep. And so I began to be sought out after my actual first podiatrist in Georgia. She said, I know you're in California, but I have looked high and low and I have not found anyone online that seems capable to provide the skills that you can. And so I said, great, let's do it. I worked with her. She was very satisfied. And then more podiatrists, they sought me out. And it wasn't a referral from her, just literally looking online. So there's something in the world of podiatry that they understand that this is a new stream of income that they can incorporate in their practice.
Now, do you have connections to Atlanta or to Georgia?
No. And I asked her, I said, how did you find me? She said, I did a Google search.
Wow. Yeah, we did a movie out there. Man, I loved it. I loved being out there.
Yeah, it's great. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, we were in Snellville. You know where Snellville, Georgia?
I do not.
It's like 20 minutes or 25 minutes from Atlanta, and it was just gorgeous. It was probably the most beautiful little town I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
Incredible. Think of like Nevada City, but Georgia, Nevada City.
Okay.
With the trees and everything.
Yeah.
It was just incredible.
I love that.
Incredible. Okay, so Cuticles Spa Consulting.com, 510-205-1615. Anything you want to add before we start to wrap up? But I really feel like there's just so much more we can touch on here.
Yeah, I think back to your question, most of us have enjoyed and had the opportunity to experience a manicure pedicure for
I love it.
A lot of you. Okay, so you've had your service.
Absolutely.
For a lot of individuals, it's
and
literally
that's why my brain is going crazy, like all the bacteria. And I'm like, it makes so much sense, but I never would have thought in a million years. So now I'm wondering, how good is this product that you're talking about here?
And it's a service.
Yeah.
So it's just waterless. It's not, I think that's kind of one of the misconceptions, is that oftentimes people or consumers are looking for a product to be just kind of the miracle cure. And it's really not that. There really are systems that should be in place. And if people are following that, then yes, you can assume that you're going to have a safe service. And so I think really educating the public, because then they set the bar on expectations and what service providers will actually give them. And so working with podiatrists definitely is my sweet spot, but I'm also working with another salon owner who they just want to improve the quality of their services. A lot of people don't know, and you just don't know what you don't know.
I know. We deal with that so much, especially with what we do. Mm-hmm. I've done, how many of these recordings have I done? I don't know, probably 1,500 of them, 1,300 of them, something. And every single time somebody comes in here, I learn like 50 things. And then I just sit there and I go, all this stuff that I know now that I didn't know before, how much more stuff do I not know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, how do we get this message? Just what I was saying is just like, how do we create better good for this industry if we're not sharing it? And so, the industry norm is X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Well, you're like, we can do A, B, we can do X, Y, and Z, but we'll do it A, B, and C, and you'll get a better result, and it's cleaner and it's safer. But how do we relay that message so it becomes the norm versus what we're so familiar with?
Yeah, that's really good. I think starting here, radio programs like this, I wonder
every day.
How many people will say, "Oh, you know what? Let me reevaluate. Let me take a better look at my salon and where I'm going. Are things clean?" And I think, medical professionals realizing, oh, I can incorporate this. Most doctors get into the industry in their field because they want to help. They want to make people better. So once they have a better understanding and that they can incorporate these services, I think it's just like brick by brick, one by one. But I think education is really the biggest piece.
So Blossom and Sabrina, the one that was here just a little bit ago, they're going to be launching their own podcast here in the next couple of weeks. And it's all going to be on looking sexy, sassy and makeup and hair and the whole bit. Okay. That's their whole shtick. That's all they're doing. And so, how do I get? What I would recommend is we have our next open house in July. Okay. Whether you become a member or not, we'll discuss that when we wrap up here. But either way, that's available. That's open to the public. Get there.
Okay.
Come out, because I'll introduce you to all of the appropriate people that in our network that could really, you've got something that can complement a lot of these businesses, but at the same time that complements your business. It helps your business. So I think there's something in this for everybody here.
Okay, wonderful.
I really do. Cuticles Spa Consulting.com, 510-205-1615. Tamika, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
And sorry so much for the really difficult questions.
No difficult questions
my
at all.
brain is going a million miles an hour, but at the same time, I want to, it's hard because I'm trying to ask the questions that the public would ask.
Absolutely.
Right? And so you kind of have to put you on a spot a little bit, but that's how we learn, right? That's how we figure it out. So 510-205-1615. And thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.